Well, this is the 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antenna, and down at the bottom is the rotor, and I guess it's about 2 feet off the ground. This is the control box, and it's got a handle on it, and that handle goes right to the tuning capacitor inside. And the deal is, this is a manual tuning capacitor for the magnetic loop antenna, and so you have to have a handle to be able to get it outside, control it outside of the weather housing, which happens to be a kitty litter box. And also of interest, when you're doing this manual tuning, you have to have a breakaway from going inside the house, so you can bring your analyzer out and take this, undo that cable going into the house, bring it over here, and then tune your antenna and for the frequency that you're looking for, which in my case is 7188, 40 meter band, and then plug it back in going into the house. And this has a co-phase wiring harness for being able to put these two antennas. This is my second antenna here. This is a second 10 meter vertical 10 foot vertical loop antenna, and again with the control box. We'll get to that. That is the control box, and this is a little different in that it's higher than the other one. So I have extended a tuning box below to be able to tune it without having to get up on a ladder, because the second thing about a ladder is that it would detune the antenna by being so close. But I have extended the loop tuning, like I say, from up top there down to where I can manually take care of the tuning unit. Again, with a breakaway from going into the house, that I can bring the analyzer out, unbreak that connection, and come over to where I can adjust it. And I've been using garbage cans as my work tables. They pretty neat there. I usually use this one for the meter and a couple other things, and then usually stick my tools up on top of this one. And push comes to shove, there have been nights where I've left my tools out and just put the lid over them. I do not leave my analyzer out, however. So again, this is a short little tour of my two 10-foot magnetic loop antennas. Very typical. The thing is, though, I have found that I think 10 to 12 feet is about as big as you can get for 40 meters. It doesn't want to tune too well, I've found. It seems to any bigger than that. And I think my circumference was 33 feet. My ELMER and I discussed it as 33 feet, and I did cut the first one at 33 feet. And I think I chopped 1.5 feet off of it on either side, and it did get down to the SWR of 1:1, pretty close. So, and this, you know, you must also consider that the higher, or rather the closer you are to ground, as far as deployment, the requirements for the circumference do change. So I would always cut long, like maybe 35 feet perhaps. This is 1-inch HELIAXE, and so I would cut long and then take my analyzer and nibble back. And sometimes you run into some strange things, like at one point I think in tuning this one has been a problem child. I don't know why, but maybe it's so far off the ground as opposed to the other one. But I wound up with a dip, a resonant dip on either side of the frequency, either side of 7188, and it was a nice dips. And then it got hotter right on 7188 as far as higher SWR, like 1.8 on 7188, and then it would go down to 1.2 on either side of 7188. And I really had to scratch my fingers, or scratch my brain about that one. And finally, you know, I have a great hesitancy on cutting because you can't easily correct a bad cut on 1-inch HELIAXE unless you have a pretty good ability to solder large items. Anyway, so that's it. That's the magnetic twin loop 10-foot magnetic vertical loop antennas. And I've been overdue in a little video of that, but anyway, that's what she does. And they're both, like I say, one's oriented north and south, and the other east and west, and that gives me the ability to co-phase. They all come in on a 3-position rotary switch, and so you have 1 on one, 2 on the other, and then 3 as you co-phase together. And that will wrap up our little video on our vertical 10-foot magnetic loop antennas.